Good morning to Team Impact. I know I stated in my last video that this video would show just as much comedy and something else, but this is a video that I actually never like. It's been on my heart for a long time, and I just haven't made it. Right now, this is probably the most nervous I've ever been by myself in a room with just a camera and me. That's really, really hard to describe, but this video is about something that's really, really tough. Okay, so every story has a beginning, and this one begins back in 2015, in March 22. Um, and what happened was, it was a pretty rough day. It was a very memorable day. Um, in the morning, I lost my job. I'll get into more of that later. And in the evening, my wife at the time met me at the top of the stairs when I came back from a short drive and said I wasted 25 of her years and to get out. So to say the very least, all of this came as a real shock to me. I mean, you can't prepare yourself for something like that. Yeah, I was married for 25 years, and um, I don't know if it's just being a guy thing or whatever, but I thought everything was going great. I was a sales manager at a business, at a local business, and um, my ex-wife now, she worked at the same place. Um, so I have to be really careful with what I say, and I will be very careful because I don't want to implicate anybody or anyone. I take responsibility for my problems and the consequences of my own actions. I think everybody needs to, though. And this is more of a help you kind of my attempt to help people who have gone through or going through what I went through. It, I can't think of it as anything tougher in this world. Um, I'll give you a brief synopsis of my background. I've lived a pretty long, good life so far. I've done a lot of things. I've lived on an island out east. I have three beautiful children. Um, when it comes to jobs, I've been there, done that. I've done a lot of things. Been very blessed, very blessed. And I was in the spirit of feeling blessed when I got literally kicked out of my house. So what happened was I had a complete emotional failure. I mean, talk about a mess. Nothing can prepare you for someone that you love, who you think that when you die is going to be standing at the foot of your grave crying and saying how much they love you and that sort of thing. That's what my thoughts were. I guess I was so out of reality. The reality was I was no longer needed. I was no longer wanted. And I owned that. All at once, my world came crashing down, and I ended up. I don't know. I don't know how I made it. Looking back, I was so my nerves, my brain, everything was so totaled that I made it to my mom's about 10 miles away, and I stayed there for the night. And then I moved into my sister's in a very small village in the middle of nowhere, and I lived in her basement, in a basement, just a room, a bedroom, and with a bathroom across the hall. And I lived there for an entire year. Yeah, I can still honestly say I'm having a very hard time with this video because it's bringing back a lot of painful memories. Staying in my sister's place, I mean, they're gracious and wonderful to have me. I have no complaints. They were and still are awesome people, my sister and her husband, and I thank you for that. Um, but you know, being such a mess, the doctors had me on the strongest pill you can get, times 10 a day. So I was zombified, and I was living in this bedroom. That's all I had. I didn't have anything else. I mean, I was sent out of my house with nothing but the clothes on my back, really. So, um, yeah, there I was in that basement, looking at the ceiling, um, day after day. If that sounds depressing, you're right. And let me address depression real quick, okay? Because it's a passionate thing on my heart. So to me, I'm no expert. I'm not a psychologist. I'll just speak from experience. There's two kinds of depression, two main kinds of depression. There's all kinds of different names for them, but there's a kind of depression where a person's sitting here, it could be me, and uh, they blame their depression for this state that they're in, the really horrible feeling that comes with depression, that life sucks and I don't belong in it anymore. Well, if you are the type of person that's looking at all the people around you, or maybe even they're not there anymore, so it's this guy did this, and this person did this to me, and this person did this 10 years ago. This person violated me in the worst way. I'm sorry about that, you know, but those are facts. There's a thing that happened. Um, I'll just stop there. If that's you, if you can identify that you're in that place where everybody else is a problem, I guarantee you the problem is you. You're the problem. And I know it's hard to hear, it's hard to take, but you are the problem. And so I've been there, done that. There's the other kind of depression, which is way worse. The second kind of depression is where you literally are down and out. You can't, you, when I was at my worst, I couldn't even find it. I would wake up at night in my bedroom and I had to go to the bathroom so bad that, and it was so dark. It was like being in a submarine with no lights. And I was trying to find the door, but like nobody knows this. This is the first time I'm talking about this ever. But this is 3 years ago. And I would really find my way along the wall, around the entire room, and I had to go so bad. I was prepared to go in the corner. Like that's I couldn't find the door for the life of me. And most of I'd say most of the time I'd find the door and I'd open it and run across the hallway and there's a bathroom. Um, it took me 6 months to realize there was a window in the bedroom, and so I opened the window and there was light. But it took me 6 months 6 months to realize he was someone different in the bedroom. Um, yeah, that was rough. Um, and people love a loser. That's the thing. When you're the kind of where people are just kicking you and pointing out the obvious. Look what you did. Look what you lost. You're a loser. They literally do this. People do that. They'll sit in Tim Hortons. Um, they'll do it on Facebook. They'll do it all kinds of ways. People are very creative. People love a loser. And I gotta tell you guys who are doing that to other people, saying that they're just scumbags. Whether you do or don't believe in God, everyone, including you, and those people that you're calling dirtbags, they're redeemable. They are. And that's the main point to focus on. Um, and for those people who are in that that horrible spot right now where you are down and out and you're being kicked and kicked and kicked, um, contact me. I'll do my best. I don't have much of anything. I'll do my best to help. I really can relate. I know what it's like. It sucks. It really sucks. So while I was living in that basement apartment, not apartment, but basement bedroom, a couple of really lousy things happened. Um, my youngest daughter was about to graduate, and I had bought tickets for her grad, and I contacted her and asked her, where are my tickets? I already paid for pictures and so on. She sent me a simple text: "Is that you don't deserve to come," and that pretty much broke my heart. Another thing that happened, and this is even more painful and very hard to talk about. My oldest daughter was about to get married. I thought about this for a very long time, ever since I heard the song Butterfly Kisses for the first time. I started crying even then when she was very, very young. I always loved her dearly and wanted to walk her down the aisle. Well, like I said, I'm not going to name names, and I'm not going to implicate anyone but myself, I guess. But somebody told me not to go to the wedding, that I wasn't supposed to go, and so I didn't. I missed her wedding. Just give me a second here, okay? Yeah, that was rough, and so you kind of you're starting to understand why I really didn't want to make this video. It brings back a lot of pain, and consequences of decisions that I made. Uh, the consequences of what I did next is some people will go, okay, why did you do this? It's just plain stupid. You're a smart guy, Jeff. Well, maybe I'm the smartest dumb person on earth, but I turned to alcohol big time. And remember, I told you I was on those heavy, like the strongest pills you can get on planet Earth. And that was kind of a bad idea. It was all bad. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the doctors decided to take me off of that prescription, like cold turkey. Now, I already heard about what heroin withdrawal was like. I'm not a drug expert at all, but this drug was more powerful than heroin, and they were going to cut me off cold turkey. I did not look forward to this at all. I can smile about it now and laugh because I got through it, but that was 2 weeks of absolute hell. I mean, I'd never experienced the cold shakes and shivers and living in a bathroom for 2 weeks because you're constantly getting sick. But it took me a full 2 weeks to detox from those pills. And now I'm thankful for it. Now I can talk about it and smile about it because I'm not on that anymore. But at the time, after going through all the stuff that I'd gone through, um, it was like the coup de grace. It started me on what I call my suicide cycle. I I couldn't get suicide out of my head. I thought of unique and interesting ways to kill myself all the time. That was like plaguing me. I was like OCD on suicide. I could not get it out of my mind. I couldn't think of a reason why I deserved to be on planet Earth. And like I said, when it comes to depression, I was there. Like that was it. I owned it. I was a loser. People were reminding me all the time. I was getting kicked and kicked and kicked. Little things would set me off. Like I did have an iPad, and I'd open my iPad, and I don't know why, but all of a sudden I started getting my ex-wife's emails, and she had been on chat rooms and stuff, like single sites, for years, and things like that, would set me on a suicide cycle. I still don't know why I'm alive to this day. There must be a plan for us all. Um, but there you go. There's what I call my suicide cycle. And so now I'm going to deal with a topic that's I don't even know if it can be named. But if you can at all identify with what I've just talked about, and I know I'm not talking very loud right now because I don't feel like breaking down and crying, but if anybody tells you, and people will do this all the time, they don't know what else to say. If people tell you that it's going to get better, it ain't. Yeah, I guarantee you, things can always get worse. With me, I had people telling me all the time, Jeff, it's going to get better. Just wait, it's going to get better. Boom, something would happen, it would get worse. And just when I thought I was at my very lowest, now something else would happen, and I'd be at a new low, and a new low, and a new low. And this went on for a very long time. And a very horrible decision I made during all of this, I thought, well, fine. All right, well, she's moved on. Maybe it's a good idea to get into a relationship. Worst thing I could have done, all right? No ill will towards the person that I was in a relationship with. There's just no way I was ready for a relationship. And so that went on for a while, and up until I just went, you know what, this is not working. And in fact, it's always bringing up the emotions I felt, from my past year in a bedroom with my iPad. If that doesn't sound depressing to you, I don't know what it is, because that was hell. That's where I was. I was in hell. And I turned that hell into a different hell. And that relationship didn't last for many, many reasons. And that's all I want to say about that. That's all. But there's my long synopsis, I guess. I always try to make short videos, and I always fail at making videos. So where am I today? I'm in a place where I live in a monk-like environment. I'm the first to admit it, and I think it's okay. I think it's all right. I've gone through a lot of healing. It's taken a long time. I mean, if you think that getting a divorce is going to make your life better, you're wrong. It sucks on so many levels. And where I'm at today is through wisdom there's power, right? I'm probably not the first person to say that, but it's something that I've learned, and you only gain wisdom by experiencing new things. I learned to read again. I had to teach myself because I hit rock bottom. You can't get more bottom than rock. So I read a lot. I watched a lot of videos. I highly recommend, the YouTube channel Impact Theory. I listen to a lot of those guys, and I learned to embrace. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to say this again. I learned to embrace the suck. In this life, things will suck. Roger that. You're going to have pain. And I've learned, instead of running away from pain, to embrace the pain, to run towards the pain. If that's a thought like, well, I feel like going mountain biking this afternoon because it's good for my body, but it's going to suck. Perfect. Job opportunity. Go to your mountain bike. Get on there. Go further than you thought you could in the first place. So there's my mentality today, um, is to embrace pain. It's the only way that we grow. That's it. I know that seems contradictory to a lot of things, but that's how we grow. There are still things I get wrong in life. Who doesn't? But when you find something that challenges you or that you're afraid of, the fight or flight response kicks in. Well, run towards your fear. Run towards it, sober. Um, you will grow exponentially. You will grow, and you'll be able to smile at the end of it and go, "Man, that was awesome." But I know what I'm saying sounds so terrifying to the people who struggle with anxiety and depression. Um, but if you become that person, I promise you, from going through what I've gone through, all the crap, and I'm leaving a lot of stuff out on purpose. One of the things that I'm leaving out is my side of the story, because it's always two sides of the story. Nobody's ever going to hear my side of the story when it comes to my marriage and my divorce. Because, well, there's a lot of reasons, but the main one is I don't want to sound defensive. Um, man, has there been a lot of stuff said about me. I know that. And those people want nothing to do with me. Anybody who's heard those stories, I don't blame them. They're horrible. I mean, they point out a guy that should have been put in jail. But I can speak to that is that I never did those things. There's things that I did, and there's things that she did. And like I said before, I did think 17 years ago, 18 years ago, I thought about getting a divorce myself based upon what happened in our marriage. But I chose to fight. I've always been a fighter and not give up. And we created more memories, good ones, lots of good memories. So in the end, I guess I'm not sorry about that. But again, if you're thinking about getting a divorce and thinking that's going to make life better, no, run towards the pain, run towards what makes you uncomfortable, and embrace that. Whether it's counseling, there's so many things you can do. Whatever comes to your mind and you're afraid of, do it. It's going to make it better. There are some things I'm still really sorry for. Like just the other day, I had my son down and was playing guitar with him, and I never gave him a hug afterwards. I told him I loved him, but I didn't. I regret that. You know, there's still things, there's still mistakes that I make, but at least I realize them, and I'll have another chance. I saw my daughter the other day, and I was able to say I love you. Made me smile. Made my heart huge. Made my day, my week. So, yeah, if you find yourself in a place where you've got a gun to your head or you're about to take too much meds or you're in that place, get help. Get help. You can't do it on your own. Sometimes you just can't make it on your own. It's a great song right about that. If you want to contact me about anything, my email is very simple. It's all lowercase, Jeff Bergen. That's JEFFBERGEN 01 @gmail.com, and I'll feel blessed to be able to give you whatever I can. So for now, thanks for watching a real Team Impact video. This one we're not killing gophers and stuff. And I'll plan to make that other one very soon, but this is the one that I've been avoiding, and this is me running towards the pain right now. So I hope you have an awesome day, and that light will come into your life.